Hey up and welcome back to Matt's Mindful Meals. Today we're out and we're going to camp down by the river. So we've got about a 2-mile walk from where we are now. The sun's decided to turn itself on. The weather forecast was for quite cold, so we've both bought our thermal undermats, but it's turned dead sunny. Anyway, so we're near to get down there, and tonight I'm going to be doing dehydrated food. I'm going to be using my JetBoil Flash, because although I was meant to be using a Chinese import stove, I tried it out this morning at home and I just couldn't get it to light at all, so it must be blocked, so sent that back. Anyway, I have got a new piece of kit to sort out, so that's from Flextail Gear, so I'll show you that when we get there. Anyway, time to walk. See you in a bit. So after a wrong turn that took us down a really steep hill, we found out we were wrong. Had to turn back round, come back up that really steep hill, and now we're making our way the right direction, I hope. There's Dave. Not happy. See you in a minute. So we've been walking for quite a while now, but if you look, you've got all of the pine trees there, the pine forest, then your deciduous forest this side. So what we need to do is get into the valley, which is between the two. This river, you have to pay an absolute fortune to be able to fish in it. And sometimes you see people up here fishing, but I've never seen anybody catch any. But when I come up, I'm just on my own, I often see quite a lot of fish jumping. Hopefully we'll see some today. Anyway, got about another 1.5 miles to go. This'll do. Nicely. We've got a tent set up, as you've seen in the time lapse. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my new pump. It's my new Flextail Gear Pump. Now I've had all three that they've made so far. So the micro pump, I had the first one, which didn't have the light. Then I had the second one, which did have the light, which I found really handy because you had a pump and you had the light at the same time. But this is the newest version of it. So it's nigh on the same size, but I think it's a little bit more compact. The good thing about it for me though is the actual fan part comes out of the end and the top, rather than it coming out of a little side chute, as you can remember on the old ones. But the thing with these is it blows your little air mats up really, really quickly. Now, the other benefit with this one is this one also comes with a light. So if you want the light to come on, you press it and hold it, the light comes on. It's got 3 different variations, so I can go a little bit brighter, which is sore, and then I can go super bright, which is insane. I think I'd light the whole valley up. So we'll turn that off. So you only need to bring one item, so you don't need to bring a pump and a lamp. But then if you double press it, that's why you turn the pump on, which that tells you there in the instructions. So I'm going to get my pad done. So the pad I'm using today is the Climate pad. Now I've used this one a couple of times. It's the insulated one, because the weather forecast was it was going to get down to probably about 2 or 3 degrees. However, I think the weatherman's got it wrong, because we're both scorching. Both of us have had to take our fleeces off, and I've even got my thermals on, and I'm really warm. But it might drop down, because I think we might in for a clear night until around about 10, and then it's going to start chucking down for a few hours. So I don't even think we'll see the aurora, but the aurora was really good the other night. So I'll bring you back in a second when I'm ready to blow this up. So I'm ready to blow it up now. Now this mat is nearly 3 feet wide and 8 centimeters deep. So it's got quite a lot of volume. So I'm going to blow it up now, and we'll see how long it takes. I will fast forward it, because you don't have to watch it in real time, but I'll keep the camera going so I know exactly how long it takes. So remember, double press and we'll get going. So looking at that, it was 1 minute 20 seconds. That's not bad, is it? Save puffing and puffing away for it for ages. Now all I've got to do is pin this onto the top of my tent. That's my light done. So here you go now, I'm fully set up. And as you can see, I'm in the Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2, which for me, for the money, I don't really think you can beat it. It's a good, generous 2-man tent. And look at the size of that porch there. And it's the same on the opposite side too. So it comes with a ground sheet as well as the internal one. But this week, as I've said, I'm only going to be using my JetBoil. So I'll be using my JetBoil Flash today to make some dehydrated real Turmat food. I've got my drinks for tonight, because I'm cutting down on the amount of beer I'm drinking. Then I've got my North Face canister there, and that's just got my battery pack and my head torch and all the bits and pieces in. But then there's the Climate thermal mattress that you saw me blowing up earlier on. And then this is my 3-season sleeping bag. Now it's Findhorn, the company is, FJERN. That I've bought a couple of things of theirs this year, and I'm really happy with them. Then I've got my Thermarest stuffed sack pillow, and that's got me down jacket in there, so that will probably get worn later if it does go cold. If not, it'll just stay in my pillow. And then my dreaming cap. And then, as I'll show you, what we spoke about earlier on, is that will be my lamp later. Anyway, I think it's time to have my first cup of tea, so I'll speak to you in a minute. Set up our fire pit for later on, so we've come down to where it's sandy, so we're not going to have any issues. But I'm going to use my Firebox Freestyle, so I'm going to set this up as the Fire Pit 8. A little bonfire set up for later on, keep our hands warm. So now it's time to go for an adventure. day up. Temperatures started to drop, so I'm actually glad I have got that thermal mat underneath me sleeping bag tonight. Anyway, I don't know if you've subscribed to the channel, thanks, but you might remember the last time I came to this place, it was back in May. I've just had a look at the photographs, and it was when I made kebabs. So it was when I was down here with Nige and we made kebabs, and it was one bit was a bit of a disaster because the kebabs fell into the food. But anyway, tonight I'm just doing a dehydrated meal. But because I did kebabs last time I was here, there's actually a dehydrated meal made by real Turmat, which I think are the tastiest out of all the dehydrated ones I've ever done. But they've got one that's called Kebab Grind. So I'm hoping that it's like doner kebab with rice. So that's what I'm going to go for today. So I've tried quite a few of these. They're not the cheapest. They work out to be around about £10 a go. So hopefully I won't be watching this with the missus, so she won't know about it. But anyway, they are the tastiest. I've tried quite a few, and yeah, these are the only ones I could consider to taste like a real meal. And they're dead easy to do. But what you've got to do is not forget your long spoon, because you don't want to get food all over the back of your hands. But these ones that I've noticed is there are 2 tear pieces. So you've got the top tear piece so you can put the water in, and the bottom tear piece so that once it's actually heated through with it enough, you can tear the bottom one. So you're probably all right with a smaller spoon, but just be on the safe side. Not wrong with bringing your long spoon. So let's get the water on the go, shall we, eh? While that's boiling, get the top end of this off. Remember, don't leave any rubbish around. Oh, we were out walking earlier on, me and Dave, and where we are is probably it's a good 2 mile away from, maybe even more, from the nearest road. And there's a huge bag of rubbish. I took a photo of it. It's got Pringle tins. I haven't got enough. Well, it's not a bag of rubbish. It was a bag of rubbish, but the bag's all rotten away. But the stuff's there. It's going to be here for years. Like Pringle tins, all sorts of rubbish. If you can't take it back with you, don't bring it in the first place. End of lecture. Anyway, so we'll open this up and give you a quick look inside. It smells quite spicy, but if you look at that, let's have a look at what these ingredients are. So 39% rice, and then it said 82% kebab. Now I thought percentages went to 100, so 32% is rice. I don't know why you can have 82% kebab. Unless I get extra for free, I don't know. Well, it looks like you've got bits of pepper in there. We've got what looks like little slivers of kebab meat. Let's give it a go. I think it is doner meat, but it's really salty. Maybe because when it's swelled up a bit, it won't be as bad. Anyway, so you pop it in here. Make sure you give it a good old stir around. And a big tip is push the bottom, you see these, push that up so that you don't get any dry bits stuck to the bottom. So yeah, water's boiling, turn that off. Now on the side of these, it tells you where to fill to. You need to fill it about halfway up. I'm sure most of you have tried these kind of things before anyway. And we're almost there. What I tend to do is give them a little bit of a stir now. try and make sure that everything, so you've not got any powdery bits. Now top it up with a little bit more water. Not too much because you don't want it to be like soup. Although this company do make soups. I've never had any of them though. So now what my tip is, give it another little stir. Wash your spoon. Push the air out. And these have got like a zip lock thing going at the top. So seal it all up. And from memory, it's about 8 minutes until this is perfect. So in that 8 minutes, I'm gonna go and get myself sat back up with Dave, because Dave's just cooking his. I think he's got a boil in the bag, something or other. And but we'll see what he's got when we get back up there. Dave's all set up nice and comfy, and with an OEX tent. What tent is it though, Dave?
It's the Raccoon 2.1.
It's the second time. I think you haven't slept in it yet, but you've Mrs. and the little ones have had a go of it, haven't they?
This is my third pitch and my first actual sleep in it for you know, budget tent. Good bit of kit.
I think we're going to get a fair bit of rain tonight, so I think we're going to be able to see whether it's waterproof or not. Well, let's move on to what you're having for your tea. So obviously it's some kind of JetBoil. I'm using a JetBoil Flash, as they've seen already, but that's the Minimo, innit?
Yeah, Paul Madsen's favourite. I think yeah, it's a Minimo, and I've got homemade chicken jambalaya that I'm boiling in a bag.
Chicken jambalaya, for people watching in Stoke, is chicken fancy rice. Very, very fancy rice.
Chicken sausage, shrimp, fancy rice. So
this has had more than 8 minutes now. Dave's still over here. His food needs another few minutes, and the boil in the bag. But the boil in the bag, before we go any further, is the stuff that we've seen before on the channel, or if you haven't, you can get them from Amazon. I think you can get them in packets of 50 or 25. Then you seal them with a little heat sealer. And if you put your stuff in the freezer once you've cooked a really smart meal at home, they're dead easy to use. You just pop them in a pan and just boil them for anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes, and then your food's really reheated. Anyway, let's crack on back with this real Turmat stuff. And as I said, you've got the big spoon, so that, look at that, so your fingers aren't going to get dirty, because the spoon can reach right down to the bottom and you're still out. But as I've noticed with these, you squeeze the bag, it's got another one. So instead of opening it through there, you can if you want to, which I normally do. What I'm going to do though is, for this, to show you, is you can actually rip the lower one, which means that if you forget to bring your big spoon, you're okay. You've got to rip them a bit carefully though, because you don't want to get food all over your trousers. Anyway, give it another little bit of a stir. But yeah, I'll come and show you what it looks like, because it doesn't look too bad actually. So it just looks like, you can see, I don't want to pour it away, precious. So it looks as though I was right, as though it is. And it smells like a doner kebab, which is really cool. Anyway, most important bit is the taste. It's going to be a bit hot. Here we go. Yeah, it's literally doner kebab with rice and peppers in a kind of chili sauce. And remember early on how I said it was quite salty? Because it's now been bulked up with the water and everything else, the salt levels dropped right down, so it's actually fine. So far I've had of these. I have the pulled pork, which I don't normally like pulled pork, but pulled pork and rice is really tasty. I've tried this kebab one, which is really nice. So at home, I think I've got a chicken tikka masala and a chili con carne to try. Now, I bought these for when I was going to go to Skye, but we ended up staying quite close to a hotel, so we ate in the hotel rather than that. But these will keep nigh on forever. And so yeah, they'll keep for the next couple of trips. Anyway, we've just zipped the tent up, and as if by magic, the perfect timing, because it's just started drizzling and it's only going to get worse. Temperature did drop down. It's gone down to around about 5 degrees, so it's a little bit chilly, but the sleeping bag I've got going to be more than good enough for it. So it's time to catch up on some movies that I haven't seen in this week, and I'll see you in the morning. So, night, Dave!
Good night, mate!
See you soon. Trot! Morning. So I finished my porridge. Wasn't a very big success really. It's the instant stuff that you get from Quaker with the golden syrup. Now, I've just put boiling water in it, and it's missing that thing that makes you want to eat it. So I'd struggled through it, but you're meant to make it with boiling milk. So I think next time I'm going to do it, I'm going to put a little bit of either milk powder or evaporated milk in, and it'll give it that richness that makes it really nice. Anyway, Dave's having some smoky bacon, so I'm going to pinch a bit of that off him, and then we'll start packing up. So I'll catch you when we finish the coffee and we start packing up. Oh yeah, well that's the end of another video. So if you've got any ideas what you want to see me cook next week, just drop a message on this and I'll come up with some ideas. Anyway, for those of you who already subscribed, thanks very much. If you don't subscribe, think about subscribing. But most importantly, can you make sure you give it a thumbs up this video? Because the more thumbs up you get, the more that YouTube want to share them out amongst everybody else. I've just been through my emails, and the discount code for the Flextail Gear lamp is Flextail in capitals and then a space and then 15. If that doesn't work, come back and check in the description, and I'll actually copy the email that they sent me, and I'll put it in there so you know for definite. But anyway, hope to see you all again soon. I've had a great time, and speak to you later. Tra! Say tra, Dave! I hope you heard him. Anyway, take care. Bye.